Hey everyone, welcome to the official Camion Caminos podcast YouTube channel. It's Jeremiah Tacho, and as 2025 begins, we are here to put out longer form videos of content besides our normal Instagram reels that you have been seeing. We hope you continue to enjoy the content that will be coming out in the future. We hope you stay tuned, stay connected, and thank you all for the continuous support. We appreciate every single one of you. And whatever this channel brings us, we hope you enjoy because we know the content will be great. So thank you for everything, and please stick around. Take care, and Happy New Year.
Let's run it.
All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Table Talk with Jeremiah. It's Jeremiah Tacho, your Public Information Officer for SGA, and I'm here with a special guest, Juan-Pablo, and we're going to be talking about 3 different topics. So his experience here at Durham Tech, he is an alum, after all, I should mention, and we're going to be talking about his career, what he does right now in life, and his advice for all of you, for students, and no matter who you are, in terms of how to accomplish your goals, dreams, and success in life. So, Juan Pablo, how are you?
I'm great. Pleasure of being here, Jeremiah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Jesus behind the camera.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, thank you for manning the camera. But, yeah, so, Juan Pablo, I mean, thanks for being here. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this podcast. But, yeah, so how was your experience here at Durham Tech? Like, can you tell us about it? What was that like? And how long was your experience here and everything that happened in that time period?
It was great, but very short. I think it was 1 year, like 1 full year. All I did was get my business and administration. And then from there, I had plans to, do the 2-year route and go to college. But thankfully, I was able to start a business and just kind of put my feet in the door or open new opportunities for me that
Nice.
I guess I didn't really think I needed to pursue the full degree, you could say.
That's awesome. Like, in terms of school-wise, like, would you say it was hard for you, like, in terms of your classes? Or, like, was it something that you were, like, good at that was very easy in that 1 year?
They were significantly both difficult
Mhm.
and easy. Never been the best at school, but I also kind of had a good game plan of being a business owner, and I knew I needed to learn about taxes. I needed to learn finances and all that. And with the certificate or the classes Durham Tech was offering at the time, I got all the knowledge I needed, And then
Awesome.
from there, I might have not mastered like now. I have CPAs, accountings, all that stuff that I technically I don't use that knowledge, I guess, to the fullest anymore. But it helped me out tremendously in like the beginning stages of, opening the business.
That's awesome. Great. So, like, during your time here at Durham Tech, was there, like, a lot of students here? Or, like, what was it to your memory? I know that was,
It was a
a
few
bit
years-
ago.
it was a few years
But, like,
ago.
what was Durham Tech like, as a campus, a whole, like...
It was great. It was very active, honestly.
Oh, nice.
Like, both sides of the campus, My class, I had afternoon, or I had what is it, like evening classes?
Oh, okay.
And to my surprise, they were very full,
Nice.
And it wasn't just, just the younger students. I mean, there was a variety of like aged students, which caught me by surprise big time.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, for here, like, my experience at Durham Tech, there's a lot of students here, as well as, like, the middle college students. But, yeah, I know. It's glad to know that it was very active years ago. So, in terms of, like, getting your degree, like, was there any moment where, like, you wanted to, like, not pursue it anymore? Or was there any, like, moments such as that?
There was actually the entire time I was questioning, should I keep going to class? Because by the time I had gotten all my classes at that same time, or the semester was about to start, I had already pretty much registered the business, decided, me and my father had already decided that we were going to start a business and pursuing that aspect. So it was very challenging, one, managing starting a business, and then making the time to come to classes in the evening, you know.
Wow.
So
Gotcha.
the entire certificate time span was for sure just kind of like, should I see it through?
Mhm.
Should I just, follow the business? But I decided to see it through, just so I also knew, or just to have something also in case it didn't work out. I
Gotcha.
could at least
Nice.
pursue
Yeah.
or seek career paths elsewhere.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So in that time, like that moment that you were just describing, are there any lessons and takeaways that you like learned in that moment? Like anything at all?
Uh,
Did you have like I'm sure you had a lot of support
Oh
behind
yeah,
you.
yeah, of course. I mean, one, my fiance and my parents, they always encourage me to kind of make sure I got a career, just like a high school diploma. That's very, very important as well. So I wanted to know that I at least got something to back up the
Mhm.
knowledge, that I
For
try
sure.
to speak, or that I try to kind of put out there when I was kind of learning all those, how to do taxes, finances, budgeting, stuff like that.
Nice.
Mhm.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, that was his experience here at Derm Tech. So now let's jump into your career. So like you can start wherever, but I think it will be very cool to know like how you started your business that you have right now and like the steps and like the journey of what it has become to what it is today.
Yeah, so I run a concrete business, concrete hardscape slash landscape, all of the above really when it comes to like concrete pavers, um, outdoor materials, stuff like that. So it was 2019, I want to say. Don't quote me on this. 2019, 2018, around that time frame. Literally just graduating high school. I'd work my summers during high school, junior and senior year. I'd work my summers with my father, and he's always been in the concrete field doing that type of work. So I'd go out there, work the field with him, and kind of just see how labor intense, how difficult the work is, and also how much he would do for his boss. So he would have me kind of knock at the homeowner's door, get their advice, or ask them how they wanted this design of patio, how the forms were licking on a driveway. And in my head, I was just like, like, wow, this should be his boss's job, right? His boss should have already had all this aligned or planned for before the crew arrived to do the job. So, doing that 2 years, once it was like the right into senior year summer, I pretty much told my father, I was like, Dad, I think we could, foresee starting a business, in this.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I mean, he was very, very reluctant, but at the same time, very supportive because I was kind of bringing up the idea with a lot of enthusiasm and just, kind of putting those words behind the actions, right?
For sure.
And yeah, I graduated high school. He put in his 2 weeks,
Nice.
and the rest is history, really.
Wow.
He kind of just expected me, one, to start the business, generate leads, and kind of do all the back end or all the office, all the paperwork end, right? Because thankfully I had him to back me up on all the actual physical labor work. Once the job starts, get from point A to point, Z.
Nice. So during that process, is there any moment that stands out to you in terms of like what was like really hard about getting the business to become what it is today, or in that process, like was there a moment where it was like, man, like how am I gonna do this? Like,
Yeah, being a service business, I mean, leads is really the hardest part, right? Because without leads, you have no work.
gosh,
So just finding multiple ways and networking with multiple contractors, homeowners, all of the above that needed the service, I just make sure I was there when they told me to be there. Went to, I guess, seminars when there were seminars, just anywhere I could put my foot in the door to get networking or meet people that needed that type of service, I'd be there.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, networking is very important. I can't express. I feel like making connections in the professional world is extremely important. So Juan-Pablo was explaining exactly why it helped him. So in terms of like what it is today, like, so can you give us like a small rundown, like how the like work is today? Like how is it going? Like is it very active during this time of the year or?
Well, it being kind of the colder months, really, and anybody that works out there like in the construction industry, it really slows down.
Mhm.
You know, multiple reasons: the weather, holidays, all of the
Makes
above.
sense. For sure.
So it's a really slow period, but thankfully, I mean, I try to always combat that or like find other methods to one keep my workers busy, cash flow coming in,
Mhm.
and yeah, just overall, keep everyone that I can possibly keep busy.
That's awesome. And I was just wondering, so what was the moment like for you as well as your dad of like, hey, like this is actually a thing. Like, do you remember what that was like? Like, oh, we did it. Like I told you.
Not to, I guess, that moment hit when a late night we had got our first big job,
Mhm.
and that late night my father called me. It was like 7 8 p.m. He had put in a pretty late day, and he said that he was coming home with like an x amount of check written out.
Oh wow.
It was like upwards of the 20,000 plus. So that's when he kind of was like, this is actually a long term, thing.
Nice.
So
That's
thankfully
awesome.
it was a surreal kind of moment hearing him. Also, when I had heard it over the phone, and yeah, I mean that's kind of when I knew that yes, this is actually gonna start paying off, sooner rather than later.
Nice. Awesome. So I guess like one interesting thing to know is like what is your favorite part about the business that you have and what is your least favorite part if there is one?
Favorite part is obviously running a business. I
Mhm.
mean, that was I'm living my dream. Like I'm my own boss. No one tells me what to do. I create my own schedule, all of that. So that by far is the best part of what I do. And the negotiating part. I really
Nice.
like doing kind of the interacting with with whoever I'm dealing with or whoever I'm trying to sell the service to. Just
Mhm.
once it gets to actually negotiating the job, telling them why they should hire us, showing them what we're good at and what we can provide and why they should hire us rather than like the other guy or the other companies that are
Nice.
also bidding out the job.
Sweet.
And least favorite part, um
Yeah. Is there any?
I mean, least favorite part or the part that has been kind of the most or a little bit difficult is really maintenance, like
Mm.
maintaining vehicles, equipment, making sure things don't go missing,
Gotcha.
kind of keeping everything nice and neat when,
Hmm.
obviously being a construction business, I mean, it's very difficult.
Gotcha. Well, so what is that process like in terms of maintaining the vehicles and everything that you do, like on the job? Is that like a very long, hard process, or is it something you just have to really stay on top of?
It's something you got to really stay on top of, and I've tried hiring like full-time mechanics, but at the same time I don't have my fleet isn't that big to where I
Oh, okay.
need a full-time mechanic. So that's where it gets tricky, right? I already have a lot on my plate with dealing with other things, throughout the day, that once that kind of it becomes an issue, at the end of the day I got to, make sure it gets taken care of. But, everybody's human, so
Yeah,
sometimes
for sure.
I can leave things till last minute or just procrastinate on those types
Nice.
of things.
Awesome. That makes sense. All right. All right. So just to like clarify, has it always been like for like doing concrete business, or was there like another like area where you wanted to have a business in originally?
So to begin with, I didn't even want to do a concrete. The reason why I did the concrete business was really because my father already had all the years of experience in that industry.
Mhm.
But business mindset. I'm gonna make the best out of what the opportunity came. But yes, I mean, there's a lot of plans in the future as far as, I currently also have Airbnb. So
Oh,
I run an Airbnb property on the side as well with my fiance. So one, having more rental properties.
mhm.
I've always kind of kept it on the back of my head, like a trailer park, kind of
Oh, that's cool.
buying
Yeah.
land and putting a bunch of
Uh-huh.
trailer parks in there, or also a car wash. A
Oh,
car
cool.
wash
Nice.
seems like an interesting business. Um, but yeah.
Nice. That's fascinating. So, I mean, like, is there any like for the future goals, like is there anything that you're like striving towards in terms of like the direction of the business, or is this like like what you're doing right now is like a steady pace of everything that you've imagined?
Everything's a steady pace. I've currently been trying to delegate my tasks onto other people. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to, I guess, how could I explain it? Like, I'm trying to step back from the business,
Mm,
but ensure that the business is still growing without my presence.
that's good. That's
But
great. Yeah.
that's honestly, I mean, the past year and a half has been the hardest task, really,
Mm,
is making that vision into a reality. I step back a little bit, then I see kind of things not going the best as I thought, or, just the people that I assigned to the responsibilities not really fulfilling those
mm,
those responsibilities. So I have to step back in, right? But again, from a lot of other business kind of buddies of mine, mentors, stuff like that, it's all trial and error. I mean, I'm
gotcha.
25, you know.
No.
Sooner or later, I'm gonna find the right people that I can assign to those positions that'll help that into come into reality.
Nice. That's awesome. Sounds good. So yeah, so that is Juan Pablo's concrete business. Thank you for sharing your long story about it and what it's like to run it. But yeah, I guess too a great way to finish this podcast off is like what is your advice for everybody watching this episode and myself as well, being the host here, like in terms of chasing your dreams and goals in life? Like anything that anyone has ever told you or maybe you learned yourself along the way to help you do what you do today?
Uh, just many things. I mean, hard work, starting now, whatever you have in that head that you think is possible, just going out and doing it.
Mhm.
No matter the crazy dream or the crazy idea you might have, you'll never know if it's doable until you attempt it, right? Take as many risks as possible, especially if you're younger, you know?
Mhm.
I've taken many, many risks, like with the business itself. I've lost a lot of money by taking
Mm.
risks, and all those did was pay themselves back and more, kind of, as the time went by, because
Wow.
I never knew if they were gonna work out or not without attempting it. So
Gosh.
just taking the risk, believing in yourself, and putting in a lot of hard work. There's no cheat code to it. You put in the endless hours, the sleepless nights, and if you believe in yourself, it'll definitely come true.
Absolutely. So, were there a lot of sacrifices you'd say? Like, for example, I think like one that comes to the top of mind, like if one of your friends or whoever, like, hey, you want to hang out? Was there ever a moment where like, hey, I can't, like, I'm working on my business? Were there ever moments like that?
All the time, all
Yeah.
the time. I mean, not going to college too. I feel like I
Uh,
missed out on
mhm.
the college experience when it comes to like the parties,
Uh,
which I completely. Now to this day, I don't regret nothing because it
that's
was all
awesome. Yeah.
worth it. It was all worth it. But yes, a lot of the times where like I had to put even my hobbies,
Mm.
things that I enjoy doing on my free time to the side, just because I knew if I put in those extra few hours into the business or learning this, learning that was gonna help me out and be prepared for, you could say, the next day or the next week.
Oh, nice. So, like, like throughout this time, like, is there like your one like biggest lesson that stands out to you in terms of, like, hey, like I made it this far. Like, what is one thing that like stands out to you? Like, hey, like this is what I've learned the most about myself and like building this business that I have.
Mm, like I said, just putting in a lot of hard work.
Mm.
Putting in a lot of hard work, and also having a good backbone support, like family-wise. Thankfully, my family has always kind of been there, making sure, because it is a stressful thing to go on, right? Because I don't worry just about my family. I
Mm.
worry about all my employees' family as well. So it's a big pressure that got put on my back, but thankfully they would always just kind of reassure me like, hey, you're doing the best thing you possibly can, right? If I didn't win a job, or I would always
Mm.
kind of be in my head like, why didn't they go with me, or what could I have done better to kind of win that job, right? They just ensure me that like, hey, you're doing the best thing you possibly can, right? If the numbers or if their idea and your idea didn't coincide, there's
Mm.
nothing you can really do about it. And that for sure, learning as a person, as an individual, has, I mean, been one of the biggest things.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, I also like how you added how you cared about not just your own family, but the families of your employees. I really value how much you care about them. That's very unselfish of you, so that's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's it for today. Thank you, Juan-Pablo. Appreciate you wrapping us up on a very high note, very inspiring note. But thank you all for watching this episode of Table Talk with Jeremiah. It's Jeremiah Tacho, your Public Information Officer for SGA. And we hope you have a great rest of your holiday break. Enjoy this month of December with friends and family. And we hope to see you next semester on January 13th, as episodes will be rolling out then as well. But yeah, thank you for all of your endless support, and hope to see you in the next one whenever it comes out. Thank you.